Amaka, give me my clothes. How long will you keep wearing them? Amaka, give me my wig. And my shoes too. Amaka, even my shoes you borrowed. Borrow, girl. Abeg, leave me alone. You people are just jealous. Emeka, honestly, I'm tired of this life.
Tired of what, Amaka?
What have you ever bought for me?
I'm working hard. I believe things will get better.
I don't want promises. I want to enjoy my life now.
Amaka had always been like this. She was beautiful, young, and full of dreams, but she was never satisfied with the simple life she lived in her village. She wanted beautiful clothes, she wanted expensive shoes, she wanted a fancy phone, a beautiful car, and a life that would make people look at her with envy. Even when she had very little, Amaka wanted to look like she had everything. That was why she constantly borrowed clothes, wigs, shoes, and handbags from her friends. She would dress herself up, take beautiful pictures with her phone, and post them as if she were living a luxurious life. Whenever people complimented her online, Amaka felt proud. But there was one person who knew the truth: her boyfriend, Emeka. Emeka was a young, hardworking man from the same village. He didn't have much money, but he loved Amaka deeply. He worked hard every day because he believed that one day he would become successful and give Amaka the comfortable life she wanted. But Amaka didn't want to wait. One afternoon, she confronted him. "Emeka, honestly, I'm tired of this life." Emeka looked at her. "Tired of what, Amaka?" "Look at my friends. Their boyfriends are buying them beautiful clothes, phones, shoes, and taking them to nice places. What have you ever bought for me?" Emeka sighed. "Amaka, you know I don't have much money, but I'm working hard. Things will get better." "That's all you ever say. Things will get better. When? How long am I supposed to wait?" "I may be poor now," Emeka replied calmly, "but I won't remain poor forever." Amaka shook her head. "I don't want promises, Emeka. I want to enjoy my life now." Emeka stared at her, hurt by her words. "So because I can't give you expensive things, you think I'm not good enough for you?" Amaka looked away. "I can't continue living like this." She had already made up her mind. She wanted this city. She believed the city was where people became rich, beautiful, and successful, and she was determined to find that life. Before we continue, if you're enjoying the story so far, please don't just watch and leave. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notification bell. We are on a journey to build this channel, and your support means so much to us. Now, let's continue. A few days later, Amaka packed her belongings and prepared to leave the village. Emeka was heartbroken. "Amaka, are you really leaving?" "Yes," she replied. "I need something better for myself." "Please don't forget where you came from." Amaka picked up her bag. "I won't." But deep down, Amaka wasn't thinking about the village. She was thinking about the glamorous life she had always dreamt about. And so, she left. When Amaka arrived in the city, everything looked different. The streets were busy, the buildings were modern, young women dressed beautifully walked around with expensive-looking handbags and stylish wigs. Amaka couldn't stop staring. Then she met 3 fashionable young women who quickly became her friends. They were flashy, confident, and always dressed for parties. Their short, shimmering dresses caught attention wherever they went. Their expensive-looking wigs were perfectly styled. Their makeup was glamorous, their eyelashes were long and dramatic, and their shoes and handbags looked luxurious. Amaka was fascinated. "This is the kind of life I want," she thought. The girls introduced her to their lifestyle. Soon, Amaka began changing. Her simple village appearance disappeared. She started wearing fashionable clothes, glamorous makeup, beautiful wigs, sparkling jewelry, and high heels. She took pictures everywhere, at parties, at restaurants, in beautiful places around the city. She posted everything online. The same girl who used to borrow clothes in the village was now making people believe she had become wealthy, and Amaka loved the attention. Then one evening, something happened that changed everything. Amaka met a wealthy older man. He was a successful businessman, confident, well-dressed, and clearly very comfortable financially. He noticed Amaka and began showing interest in her. At first, Amaka was simply flattered, but soon the man started buying her expensive gifts: beautiful clothes, jewelry, shoes, handbags, a new phone. He took her to expensive places and gave her access to the kind of life she had always dreamt about. Amaka was thrilled. "This is what I've always wanted," she told herself. She no longer had to borrow clothes. She no longer had to pretend to be wealthy. Now she actually had expensive things around her. She became completely dependent on the luxurious lifestyle. Meanwhile, Emeka remained in the village. He continued working hard. He was hurt by Amaka's decision, but he refused to spend his life chasing someone who had chosen to leave him. Instead, he focused on himself. He worked, he saved, he learned, he kept pushing forward. Amaka, however, became more distant. One day, Emeka called her. He wanted to know how she was doing, but Amaka didn't want to hear from him. "Emeka, I've moved on." There was silence on the phone. Amaka continued. "I don't want a poor man anymore. I have a different life now." Emeka's heart sank. "So that's really how you feel?" "Yes." She ended the call. Emeka sat quietly for a moment. It hurt. But instead of chasing Amaka, he wiped his tears and returned to work. He decided that his future would not depend on someone who had already rejected him. Meanwhile, Amaka continued enjoying her luxurious lifestyle. For some time, everything seemed perfect, but slowly, things began to change. The wealthy man who had once been generous started becoming controlling. He questioned where Amaka went. He questioned who she spoke to. He became angry when she did things he didn't approve of. Amaka began to realize that the luxurious life she had fallen in love with came with a price. The beautiful apartment no longer felt comfortable. The expensive gifts no longer made her happy. She had started to feel trapped. Then one day, everything collapsed. The wealthy man decided he was finished with Amaka. He took back the lifestyle he had provided and walked away. The luxury disappeared almost overnight. Amaka was left with almost nothing. And when she turned to the friends who had once surrounded her, they were nowhere to be found. The same girls who laughed with her at parties stopped answering her calls. The same people who celebrated her when she had money suddenly had no time for her. Amaka was alone. She finally understood something painful. Those people had not loved her. They had loved the lifestyle. With nowhere else to go, Amaka returned to the village. She arrived carrying only a small bag. Her head was lowered. The confident girl who had left the village believing she was going to become wealthy was gone. She looked tired, humbled, and full of regret. But Amaka still had one thought in her heart: Emeka. She remembered the man who loved her when she had nothing, the man who had warned her, the man who had told her that he was working hard and would eventually succeed. She began looking for him. Then she saw something she never expected. Emeka had changed. The poor young man she had rejected was now successful. His years of hard work had finally paid off. He had a beautiful modern home. He dressed confidently. He had built a comfortable life for himself. Amaka stood there in complete shock. She couldn't believe her eyes. The man she once called poor was now wealthy. The life she had wanted so desperately was standing right in front of her. But then came the truth that broke her heart. Emeka was married. Amaka looked at the woman standing beside him. She was his wife. Emeka had already moved on. He had built the life he once dreamed of, and he was now sharing that life with another woman. Amaka stood at a distance and watched them together. She watched Emeka smile. She watched his wife smile back. She looked at their beautiful home, and suddenly she remembered everything. She remembered how Emeka had told her that he would work hard. She remembered how she laughed at his dreams. She remembered comparing him with other women's boyfriends. She remembered telling him that she didn't want a poor man. She remembered walking away from him because she wanted luxury immediately. And now, the man she rejected had become successful, but it was too late. The comfortable life she had desperately wanted was now the life Emeka was giving another woman. Amaka lowered her head. There was nothing she could do. She couldn't turn back time. She couldn't undo her choices. And she couldn't destroy another woman's marriage just because she regretted her own decision. So Amaka picked up her small bag and walked away. For the first time in her life, she understood the difference between looking rich and actually building a life. While she was busy borrowing clothes, pretending to be wealthy, chasing luxury and looking for shortcuts, Emeka had been quietly working. He didn't become successful overnight. He built his life patiently. And Amaka finally understood that sometimes the person you reject because they have nothing today may become the person who has everything tomorrow. But by then, they may no longer be waiting for you. Amaka learned her lesson the hardest possible way. Never despise genuine love and honest hard work simply because you are impatient for a luxurious life. Now, tell me honestly, if you were Emeka, would you forgive Amaka or would you leave her in the past? And don't just watch silently. Let's make the comment section interactive. Tell us what you would have done. If you enjoyed this story, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notification bell for more African stories. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.